Hello to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska and this is Berlinale Culture. We know you cannot go to a cinema right now. That's why we specially took you to one with us. And here with me is Barbara Giza, an expert in movies, especially in old movies. And madam, you work in Polish film archives and you are a professor at SWPS University in Warsaw. And today we came to talk with you more about a movie, Last Stage, directed by Wanda Jakubowska.
Hello to you.
And this movie had a new premiere once again this year at Berlinale Festival in Berlin. And what I've heard, it was a full audience and people warmly reacted back again to it. Even though this film was the first premiere of this movie was in 1948, so many years ago already. So, and The Last Stage, the first movie in Poland about Holocaust touching this topic. Could you, in few words, tell us what actually is it all about? How this topic of Holocaust is presented in it?
Yes, it was the first in Poland, but maybe even also the first in the world. Movie about the Holocaust and about the concentration camp in Auschwitz. Thinking from today's perspective, we must remember that the Holocaust and Auschwitz are being shown many times in film. So, and by many directors in many ways. But the perspective of 1948 must be different. First of all, Jakubowska as the victim and the person who was in Auschwitz had to take a special perspective as also the one who was there, who is trying to tell her own story. Of course, it's not a purely autobiographic story. But we have to think about that it's kind of a personal testimony. And it's not being shown in the story, but it's being shown in the construction of this movie. It shows many people, many episodes. But of course the love story is one of the most important. Why is that? Why so many episodes? Why so many people? Because this was a perspective of a person inside the camp. There were thousands of people there.
From all over the world.
I've heard all over the world, speaking many languages.
To be honest, during this program,
yes.
During the program of Berlinale Culture, I already had a chance also to speak to one of the women who survived the camp. And what she told me is the fact that her name was Alina Dąbrowska, and the fact that there was Auschwitz was actually a very international place,
yes.
Where there were many languages and people from all over the world, and sometimes the people even she herself, she treated Auschwitz as a form of university where she could meet people.
Unfortunately, yes. And this structure of made of episodes is like a structure of this experience. Many people, many stories, many private also stories, many personal emotions. Not one main character, but many different characters, many different stories. And what's important, you never know if the person you meet today, you will meet tomorrow.
It is element of every single moment is important also with the person, and the first meeting could be the last meeting as well.
Yes, that's why those episodes show also this kind of strange experience that you meet someone and you don't know if you meet this person again ever. That's the first. The second is this love story, which is also very interesting, because this love story is taken from the real story. It was quite famous in Auschwitz, but also very sad. The lovers who were trying to escape, but they were, unfortunately, this escape could not be happy. They were catched and they were killed. At the same time, he in a men's part of the camp and she in a women's part of the camp. So maybe this is something very special also about this film, because we know the stories about the Holocaust, and we can talk about many movies, but they are usually using one story, one character, one private, let's say, story. But this one is trying to show this real experience of the camp. So it's not about someone, it's about all those people in this camp.
So
it's
the main
about the camp is the
exactly. So the character may be the camp itself, and there's a kind of experience.
And it's strange world in which you never know what's going to happen within 5 minutes, and you are afraid that death is everywhere, and you meet a lot of people, but you meet them maybe for one moment, for one second sometimes.
Yeah, so this feeling of not having control over anything. Just to wrap up, when we would like to invite our audience, new audience right now, to watch this movie, what would you recommend for them? How to approach it? How to understand it the most? How to if they put it, they open it. Should they look at it? What would be your advice?
First of all, we have to remember that Wanda Jakubowska was the victim. She was there. So it's her own story, but not in the autobiographical meaning, but in much more wider meaning. Second, it's the movie which was taken in the camp, which was made in the camp just after the war. So everything was real. Everything was authentic there. We have to add here that while making this movie, there was another equipe preparing the museum there, because the museum was opened also in the late 40s. So the atmosphere of authenticity, the atmosphere of reality, which is very difficult to understand, just after the war, when few months, these were months, let's say, there was something such horrible there. And how to remember about this, how to manage with those memories. This is the film about the memory, about the private memory, but not about one private character. It's the film about the Auschwitz just after it was closed.
And so if you, the audience of Poland Daily, would like to see how Auschwitz looked really like just after the camp was closed and finished, the movie The Last Stage of Wanda Jakubowska is a testimony and also I would say a form of documentary how the world looked like there, and that's why it's worth watching. And thank you very much for being today with us.